Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rolene Marks. This is the Israel Brief, where I look forward to joining you guys every Monday to Thursday right here. And as always, we're brought to you by these guys, Lay of the Land, and they provide the platform for us to share all our news and all our content with you. Now, I do have to give a slight technical apology. There are some renovations happening around me. So if you hear some drilling or some knocking, it's not me. I promise you, I'm behaving myself today. It's my neighbors. But let's take a look at those top stories. It is day 243 of Israel's war with Hamas, which means that for 243 days, there are over 120 people still being held hostage. We know that maybe over 40 of them have been murdered, their bodies being held in captivity, and we hope that the rest are still alive, and we want them home now. It is also a very special day here in Israel. It is Yom Yerushalayim, Jerusalem Day. I'm going to speak about that coming up a little later in the broadcast. And thank you for all your viewer questions. It goes to show, if I miss one day, you guys send me a whole lot of questions, so keep them coming. Let's take a look at those top stories. And earlier today, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited the northern town of Kiryat Shmona. Kiryat Shmona, along with other towns, has taken the brunt of many missiles and rockets fired from Hezbollah, an Iranian proxy operating in the south of Lebanon, into Israeli territory. Most of the town has been evacuated. We can't forget that there are over 100,000 internal refugees or evacuees from our northern towns because of the offensive by Hezbollah. But Kiryat Shmona has seen the bulk of it, and many fires getting perilously close to the civilian areas. Now, the Prime Minister said that he warns Hezbollah of a very strong response if this continues. It looks like diplomatic efforts from the international community have fizzled out. Nobody seems to be concerned or bothered with what is happening in the north of Israel, in the media or in the northern community, or in the international community rather. But here in Israel, we are very, very concerned. Firefighters battled for 48 hours to try and put out the blazes around the northern communities. And I just want to take a moment to thank Israel's fire and rescue services, police, Magen David Adom, United Hatzalah, and all those who are working around the clock, putting out fires, treating those who are injured or have to deal with smoke inhalation, and trying to keep remaining civilians up there who haven't evacuated, maybe for business reasons or for other reasons, to keep them safe. So a big salute to you, a big thank you to you. Yesterday, the War Cabinet convened to discuss the situation in the north, and the IDF Chief of Staff, Herzi Halevi, said that we are getting very close to having to make a decision with regards to the north. He says, but the IDF are prepared to go on the offensive. Former Defense Minister and Chairman of the Yisrael Beiteinu faction, Avigdor Lieberman, was speaking to Galei Tzahal, or Army Radio, this morning, and his comments on Army Radio, which many of us are aware of, have caused a major stir around Israel. And he said that Iran is aiming to inflict or to create a Holocaust against Israel within the next 2 years. Now, many of us have been speaking about this for decades, that this whole campaign of delegitimization to put an end to the state of Israel as it exists has been in effect. But Lieberman went on to say that he believes that Iran wants to do it just like they did it on the 13th of April, but this time much bigger and with thousands thousands and thousands of missiles. He says their aim is to do away completely with the state of Israel, which would effectively be another Holocaust. Earlier today, the IDF announced that they will be forming a new counter-terror unit called the Lotar Ofek unit. This will be a unit in the Otef, or in the Gaza envelope area. These are the areas that were very, very badly affected by the events of the 7th of October. This unit will be made up of residents from the area who understand the unique challenges to that part of the country, and they will be made up of reservists and ex-special forces soldiers. And this is at the request of the IDF Chief of Staff, Halevi, and he also said that, you know, the IDF has learned from the mistakes made that led to the events of the 7th of October, and we have now launched this unit. Meanwhile, the IDF also said that they will be capping the reservists from 300,000 to 350,000. They were quick to reiterate that this is not because of any offensive that is planned in the north, but rather because the operations in Rafah, in the Gaza Strip, require more personnel than already planned for. And finally, today is a day for two very special reasons. First of all, it is Yom Yerushalayim, it is Jerusalem Day, where we celebrate the reunification of Jerusalem. This happened during the Six-Day War. Sorry, somebody trying to interrupt my filming there. The reunification of Jerusalem during the Six-Day War. If you recall, Jerusalem was a divided city, and we can't forget those immortal words, Kotel Maravi Beyadenu, the Temple Mount is in our hands. And it is a day of celebration in Israel, but it is also a day of solemn commemoration as we remember those who fell in defense of the country and who fell in the battles for Jerusalem on those fateful day. And today is also another very special day. Tomorrow we commemorate 80 years since the Normandy landings, or D-Day, and they came by land, sea and air. The British Army, the Commonwealth armies, the US armed forces landing on the beaches in Normandy to begin their offensive to fight the Nazi regime in the Second World War. And I have been following events at Portsmouth today. His Majesty King Charles and the future King Prince William leading tributes with veterans. Very, very moving to see these veterans, many of them over the age of 100, before they set out for Normandy tomorrow. And both my grandfathers fought in the Second World War in His Majesty's Commonwealth Army. I'm a very, very proud granddaughter of both my grandfathers, and to the greatest generation, many of whom are our grandparents, our parents, our great-grandparents, we salute you. We owe you a debt that can never be repaid, because we would not have freedom and democracy without your valiant efforts. And we also cannot forget that the landings on Normandy Beach, which would bring all the Allied forces onto the European continent, would change the war and would see the ultimate defeat of the Nazi war regime. Now it is time for today's question, and it comes from Diana Peled from Israel, who says, where is our leadership? Are they waiting for a Hezbollah attack on Tel Aviv? And I think, Diane, that is the question all Israelis are asking. I think patience is wearing very, very thin. We cannot continue to live with a situation in the north where the land is burning, the farms, the businesses are on fire. And I think watching the events yesterday, coming the language coming from the Ramatkal, the Chief of Staff, coming from the War Cabinet. We hope that something very decisive is going to happen. All of Israel's civilians, whether they be in the north, the south, or the center, deserve the right to live in peace and in safety. So keep those questions coming. And that's it from me for today on today's edition of the Israel Brief. Please don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Facebook page is at Lottel Site, our YouTube channel right here at the Israel Brief, and we are on X at Lay of the Land 5. I'm Raylene Marks for the Israel Brief. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Big hugs to you all, and I will see you again tomorrow.